Hello, players and coaches. This is Doc Scholl, baseball analyst and instructor, and here I have a kid from New York, 10 years old, and his father discovered me on my YouTube channel and sent me his video and wanted me to take a peek at his swing. And I want to share with you some of the things that I like that this 10-year-old does and some suggestions I have for him to improve his swing. So let's make a breakdown of this kid's swing. The first thing that comes out, and I've watched his swingers in here about 5 or 6 times, is he drops his hands. And you'll see I talk about this a lot in a lot of my videos. If you watch his hands and his body, the bat goes directly down, and then he starts his momentum going forward. Now, when we think about the swing, we really want the swing to go load up. We want it to load up, and then we want it to explode on that proper swing plane. So that is my first tip for him to work on, is not to drop his hands, to bring his hands back. One of the tips I give to coaches is just to practice the load drill, and you could see that on my videos in UberSense, or I even sometimes put my hand right here and have kids say load up, and I want you to bring your hands back to my hand as a coach and just practice on the load. So I want you to try that because the load is so important. Another thing you're going to notice that we talked about, and you see this over and over again, it's got to be one of my top 3 things that kids do that they need to work on, and that is that front foot. If you notice how many times I've talked about this, that back heel comes down, which is again going to release the hip to lose a little bit of power and drop the hands. So that is the second thing I wanted to work. And if you notice, they kind of go together, right? The hands drop a little bit, then as you bring that foot and bring it backwards with that heel, it's going to drop even more. So I think those 2 parts are my suggestions for this young 10-year-old from New York. Okay, what do I like? I love that at the load position, okay, we often take a look at the angle of his bat. And if you notice here, his bat is at 86 degrees, and he's going to love to hear this, that I've studied so many MLB players, and Mike Trout, his load bat is at 86 degrees. So I know he's going to be excited about that component. What I do like also is as he drives that back elbow through. Look at that back elbow. I want you to look really carefully how that back elbow drives through. That's extremely important to help with that bat speed and get that proper swing plane. And I've told you so many times about having that proper swing plane, and this kid does a great job with having a swing plane. He also is, you could notice that he's working on his extension to make sure that he hits through the ball. So that also looks pretty good. Here we want some extension. And we often say with little kids, make sure that you hit 3 balls so you extend through. All right. But overall, I like a lot of things this kid does. He's got a nice balanced swing. He drives that back elbow through and gets nice extension. So the tips that I have for him to work on, to recap, is to not drop his hands. We want to load up, and dad or his coach could help with that by putting his hand behind his hands and tell him to load up, because we want to have all that weight shifting back to that back side and then drive through. And make sure he doesn't drop that back heel on his front foot back. But other than that, I think he's got a lot of good things that he's working on. And we could go, I like this swing coming up here. This is a much better swing. Just to show one more thing, watch this load up. See his hands going back? That is much better, kid. I want you to compare that to the one before. Your hands are loading up. Remember, we're getting all that power back so we could drive through the ball. That is a much better swing. And he even has better extension on this swing. All right, so he's going to work on that. And I would love to hear back from him about the adjustments he's made. Show me another video, and I'd love to do a comparison. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to hit me up with a like, check out my YouTube channel, Doc Scholl. or look at my drills and videos in UberSense, or send me a direct email at doc2323@gmail.com. Keep up the good work, kid.